Welcome to this ICF Slalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to the latest ICF Slalom podcast episode. Thanks for joining me. The spectators and atmosphere helped the athletes seeking flow on this fiddly Troja course in Prague, Czechia, for World Cup 2 of the International Canoe Slalom and Kayak Cross season. Today I'm joined by each of our winners from World Cup 2 in Prague: Jakub Krejci from Czechia, Jess Fox from Australia, Nico Gestin from France, Kačka Bekova from Czechia, Giovanni de Gennaro from Italy, and Camille Prigent from France. Czechia topped the medal table for their home World Cup with 3 gold and 2 silver, ahead of France and Australia with 2 golds apiece. First, let's hear from Jakub Krejci, winner of the men's kayak and kayak cross head-to-head winner at World Cup 2 in Prague. He's a former under-23 world champion in men's kayak and reigning European champion in kayak cross individual. I started by congratulating him on his 2 wins, and we have seen Vavra, Jiří and Virt take wins on their home course, yet I think he's the first male Czech athlete to win the 2 classes in Prague with this incredible atmosphere.
First of all, thank you so much. To be honest, I don't really know if I'm the first to win 2 categories in the home ground, in front of the home ground in Troja, Prague, but it doesn't really matter for me. It was a special weekend and it was really nice, and the thing what is the more important is that was my first World Cup win ever. We were a little bit scared if the people come because the weather shouldn't be good, but in the end it was a really nice Friday afternoon, and the crowd were crazy also with the speakers Dan and Mira, which makes the atmosphere like much more bigger and better. So I felt really under pressure when I was the last on the start in the start block, and saw the crowd on the right bank and on the left bank, saw the speakers which were hyping the atmosphere. But I trust to myself and I try to lock in my head and focus for the best performance which I can do. To be honest, I was really tired on Sunday because like whole week was really hectic. We had some media stuff and things around the World Cup, but I didn't do a good time trial, but good enough to qualify into the heats. And after I saw the first heat, I were really scared because it could be a final like Joe Clark and the Mario Leitner and Schwanix. And I already know that there will be really important to have a good start because if you pull on the ramp, it gonna give you an advance, and that was my tactic. Have a good start, be fast and to the first up, rapid around the first up, and then enjoy the crowd. And yeah, it works through the heats from quarterfinal, semi-final and final. So yeah, I think it was a good tactic. What do you think?
I asked him about his expectations for World Cup 3 and the remaining season.
Yeah, I don't have a really big ambition here in Augsburg because it's a really tricky course here, and so I just want to have fun on the water, enjoy the racing, enjoy training here, and all of the World Cups are just the process to to the world, not just a training, just a part of the training. And so the most important race will come. It's the World Championship, 2 World Cups, and the Europe. So my goal is to make as much point to the Olympic as I can to the Olympic qualification. And I'm really excited to get back to the training process and work hard.
That was Jakub Krejci. He was the men's kayak winner and kayak cross head-to-head winner of World Cup 2 in Prague. He talked to us from Augsburg, Germany. Next, delighted to welcome back again this year undisputed GOAT Jess Fox, winner of the Prague World Cup 2 in K1 women and C1 women. She's the reigning Olympic champion in both K1 and C1. I started by congratulating her on her latest World Cup wins.
Thank you. Yes, very happy with my racing in Prague. And as I joked in my interview, it was my dad's birthday, so I was, that was his present because he was back home in Australia and staying up quite late to watch us. So, at least there was a good reason for him to stay up, and I was so happy to just put down some good paddling. I think in kayak especially, I really wanted to be able to express myself and put down a good run and cross that finish line and just be happy. I kind of had no expectations for the podium. It was just, you never know what can happen in a race run, in a final, in Prague. And this course was particularly challenging. And I think, to put down that run in kayak was something that I look back on and I'm like, wow, that was a great final. And considering the last 9 months and considering the last few weeks as well, where I've been dealing with a little injury on my wrist, I was just, really proud of myself to race that way. So loved racing in Prague.
I asked Jess too on how the course design reflected on her penalties.
Yeah, obviously, that course was extremely challenging for everyone, I would say. But in canoe, you don't have that extra blade. So there are times when you need to muscle through a move, and it does become a bit harder in canoe. But I didn't particularly enjoy the course, but you just have to get on with it and you have to do it and you have to find solutions. And I think in my final, it was a good lesson of never giving up and trying to react with composure and clarity in the moment. And I knew that I'd done a really good top section. And so when I got down to 17, 18, I wanted to try and, finish strong. And to have +4 in that section, to be honest, I thought my race was over and I thought there's no way I'll be on the podium with that, because it's very rare to win with +4. And I mean, you reminded me of 2013, they're winning with +6, but normally the margins are extremely tight in Prague and everywhere, and to win with, penalties doesn't happen often. And I think in that moment, I thought I'd made such a massive mistake that it was probably over for me, but it held on. And I think it just went to show how challenging the course was for everyone. So very proud to win in C1 and very grateful to be back on the start line and to have shared some really beautiful moments on the water with everyone, to be sitting in that spot and see Martina Sakova come down and to hear the Czechs cheering for her. And, I was in a funny, position where I was really happy for her to put down a good run and beat me. I was like, if that happens, that happens. That's amazing. So it was a very tight finish and awesome to just be back racing in Prague and back on the top of the podium.
And lastly, while we have seen Jess win in Augsburg in both canoe and kayak, we know that the German team are always strong on their home course.
Augsburg is, one of the most unique courses on the circuit. And we know that the home advantage here is very prominent. Obviously, Ricarda, just watching her paddle here, she shows such ease and just incredible. But also, all the German athletes. And like you mentioned, there are other athletes who are paddling extremely well this season and who can be putting down really good times and good runs on this course. So we'll have to wait and see. I am looking forward to having a crack on the Augsburg course in K1 and C1 and just seeing how it feels Usually those first few sessions don't feel so good. But yeah, hopefully I can piece together a good race. I'm looking forward to it.
That was Jess Fox, winner of the K1 Women and C1 Women in Prague. She represented Australia at the Olympics in London, Rio, Tokyo and Paris. She has 6 Olympic medals. She talked to us from the course in Augsburg, Germany. Next, I chatted with another reigning Olympic and world champion, Nico Gestin, winner of the Prague World Cup 2 in C1 Men. I asked him to expand on his race interview comment about the course design and this weekend in Augsburg.
Yes, I was really questioning the course design. When I came in Tassen, I was a bit sad. I saw 50% of the paddlers, their race was stopped at gate 3. And so I feel like canoe slalom need to be a show. If we want to create a show, the design need to give this opportunity. And when there is some spectators or even for the paddlers, I think nobody is taking pleasure when you see 50% of the paddlers stop their race at gate 3. And for me, it was a bit the same with the combination of gate 11, 12 and 18 up 19 was really not nice to watch. So I don't understand why we are doing things like that. I'm a big fan of canoe slalom, and I'm a big fan because I love watch Jiri Praskavec doing his upstream gate, or Kozer doing some really good stopper move. I feel like on our course design of the beginning of the season, it was just about cut the stopper, try to have the gate, and just fighting. So that is not like this we are doing a show for me. So it was just my point of view. I just want to be honest, and it's not about a problem about the person. Just I think we have to think about how to create a show. Now we are in Augsburg. I had a really, really good memory from the race of last year. So I hope to be able to go for a win again. I just want to try to have some pleasure on the water the past week. Try to enjoy my run because I think it's the last races without the Olympic pressure and the race for the quota. Already I just want to try to have some pleasure, and even if the result is not here, it's already a good beginning of the season with a 5th place in Tassen and a 1st place in Prague. So no pressure, but just want to take some pleasure here.
I also asked Nico whether the European title, being the only one he has yet to win, is important to him.
I would like to prepare the European title for this year, and in Ivrea it's really a course I really loved. So I would like to be really great at the European, try to win all the titles I can win in my sports. So it's important, but we know the Olympic selection is always the most important thing for our sport, but I'm trying to give more value to the World Cups, to the European titles, and even World Championships. We are obsessed by the games, and I think it's normal, but if I want to take pleasure, I have to be honest with me, and I want to give more value to these races. I love to race in Prague, I love to race in Tassen, and so it's important for me to prepare a bit these races because that's why I'm doing this sport. So I don't want to be only focused on the Olympic selection, and I try to give some value, take some pleasure at every races. We don't have many races in the year, so I'm trying to be in this philosophy, and we will see if it will be enough for to defend my Olympic title. But there is not only the games, and I want to try to improve on every races.
That was Nico Gestin, winner of the C1 Men in Prague. He represented France at the Olympics in Paris, which he won. He talked to us from Augsburg, Germany. Next, I invited Kačka Bekova to the podcast for the first time. She was the winner of the Prague World Cup 2 individual kayak cross. She's a former under-23 world champion in kayak cross.
Thank you for the congratulations. It was nice to win at the home in Prague, and it was my first win, so it was much more special. And my family was there and my friends, which I didn't expect that they will be there. So it was nice to see them in the crowd during the ceremony. So it was nice, and hopefully it wasn't my last win. So let's see what it brings. I think it helped me a lot to know the course, but the crowd helped me much more than the knowledge. It was nice to hear them during my race, especially to hear Dan Stach and Mira Lenz to cheer me onto the finish line, so it was nice. My biggest motivation was the World Cup in Prague. The reason was Dan Stach and Mira Lenz. They are such a crazy people, and they all the time or every time make really crazy atmosphere, so that was the race I really look forward to. And another race is the World Championship, because I've never raced on the Senior World Championship. But I'm too old for under 23. So those two races were my motivation for this season.
That was Kačka Bekova, winner of the kayak cross individual in Prague. She talked to us from Augsburg, Germany. Next, I invited our third Olympic champion today to the podcast episode. Giovanni de Gennaro was the winner of the Prague World Cup 2 in kayak cross individual. He's the reigning Olympic champion in men's kayak.
So it was my first win for the time trial. The other medal I got in kayak cross was back in 2022, I believe, which was a long time ago. I'm really happy about my improvement in this discipline. This winter we tried to focus more on this event, and also the head-to-head. I feel like I've improved, even though I haven't performed well yet. I hope he's coming as well, and so I can finally be competitive through all the weekend. I felt like the course in Prague was really challenging and demanding on the physical side. Was probably not what we expected, and usually Tassen is more flowing and fast combination. Last week was about strength and endurance, but it's part of our job to adapt and to try to find solution, which I didn't find in this particular course. But yeah, it's part of the game, part of the World Cup to be ready every weekend to perform in any condition, any weather. I feel like it's been a difficult week in Prague for everyone on the physical side. So it's important to recover now, take some days to get the feelings back on the water in Augsburg, and then be ready for the next challenge. Well, family is obviously the main supporter for me, and it's always great when they can come watching me. It's quite tough in the World Cup because we race the first event on Friday, so it's not easy for them to leave the work and come, but they manage to attend few races this year. So I actually can't wait to race in Augsburg, because also my girlfriend and daughter will come. So it's always a nice opportunity, especially if you are away for 3 weeks. You kind of recharge your battery when you meet your family and your friends. So I'm lucky to have the World Cup not too far from home, and yeah, it's always a pleasure to share this competition and all the emotion that comes from racing with all of them. Well, it feels great to be back in Augsburg. I have so many good memories, but also bad memories, because it was definitely the course that challenged me the most in the past. And I feel like in the last few years I've been racing pretty well, and finally I understood more what the course requires. It's a long one, it's a long course, and the water is really moving everywhere, and you really need to be focused everywhere and solve many tasks. But yeah, lately in the last few years, as I said, I've been performing very well, and I got some golds and obviously the silver medal at the World Championship, which is still my best result in that competition. So yeah, I hope this weekend will be a good one. Would be nice to get some good results in slalom too, and not only in cross. So I'm excited to race this weekend.
That was Giovanni de Gennaro, winner of the kayak cross individual in Prague. He represented Italy at the Olympics in Rio, Tokyo and Paris. He's the reigning Olympic champion. He talked to us from Augsburg, Germany. Finally, happy to hear again from Camille Prigent. She was the winner of the Prague World Cup 2 in kayak cross head-to-head. She's the reigning World Cup Series champion in kayak cross individual.
Yeah, I'm super happy to win the kayak cross in the head-to-head this time. I had quite a good time trial, but not good enough for a medal. I was fourth. It was still quite a big advantage because I could pick my spot on the ramp, and I had some really good start the whole day. I still had to fight quite a lot. The girls were jumping on me in the first up most of the time, and all the runs were really crazy. I thought I would be kicked out a couple of times, but I managed to fight well, and I was super happy about the whole day and how I handled the fights, which is always a hard part for me. I think it's my first gold medal in a world event in the kayak cross head-to-head, and it was super special to have my mom there. She came all the way from France to support me. After I didn't medal in slalom and in time trials, I was like, okay, she cannot be here for no reason. I have to medal now. And I did, so I was super happy. Even though she told me afterwards she was enjoying the weekend so much, no matter the results. It's quite cool to be able to share the good moments like this with family and the whole team. In slalom, I was obviously a bit frustrated with the result from the final, but it was a really good race again. Like, I had a good qualification. I was attacking in the final, and I had the speed to go get a really good run, I think. Just one big mistake in the middle of the course. So I will try to fix that this weekend in Augsburg. I'm really excited for what's coming this season because I feel in really good shape and I feel way more consistent than the years before. I didn't put together a good final yet, but I hope it's coming, and I really like Augsburg, so it could be this weekend. We will see what's coming.
That was Camille Prigent, winner of the kayak cross head-to-head in Prague. She represented France at the Olympics in Paris. She talked to us from Augsburg, Germany. Prague reminds us we are all part of a community and family. Jess's shout out for her dad's birthday, Camille's mum seeing her win, Giovanni's family and friends, and we are saddened to hear about Kimberly Wood's grandmother, who died back home this weekend. I've known and met up with Kathleen Woods at more race courses around the world and over more years than I can remember. It feels like we are all part of an international family. Thanks to my guests today, Jakub Krejci, Jess Fox, Nico Gestin, Kačka Bekova, Giovanni de Gennaro and Camille Prigent. Our next episode will bring results and insights from World Cup in Augsburg, Germany. Winners last time in Augsburg for World Cup 5 in 2025 were Kimberly Woods from Great Britain in both canoe and kayak, and Anatole Delassus from France in K1 men, and Nico Gestin in C1 men. In kayak cross at last year's Augsburg World Cup race, Lois Lever from Great Britain and Mathurin Mador from France were fastest in the individual, and with Ricarda Funk from Germany and Sam Lever from Great Britain in the head-to-head. I'm John Gregory. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people, send them a link, like, follow, or write a review. And if you need more, keep reading Ettore Evaldi's brilliantly insightful and eloquent blog. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.